I'm doing well, ma'am. How was your
Nice.
weekend?
My weekend, okay. My weekend was pretty good actually. Yeah, great. How about your weekend? Of course, I think the next weekend is just around the corner. 2 more days, and you'll be welcoming
Uh,
Saturday again. So, how was the last one?
yeah, it was a decent weekend. Uh,
Okay.
I went outside with friends. I
Mm-hmm.
went out with friends and also did some video editing for my YouTube channels.
Okay, fabulous, fabulous. Can you remind me again what apps did you say you use for your video editing?
I used two apps, Canva and Kidden Live.
Ha, Caden Live. I remember now. That Caden
Yeah.
word, I wasn't able to catch it the last time, so you spelt it out for me. I remember. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Great, great. So I think these skills, social media marketing, digital marketing, video editing, being a graphic designer, I feel like earlier, maybe 10 years ago, these jobs were considered very unconventional. But these days, there's so much competition here also, don't you feel?
Right, because as there is a lot of competition now in the market and the industry, so now a lot of people are acquiring these skills as well, like video editing and
Yes.
graphic designing. And as you said, the competition is increasing here as well. But it's
Hmm.
good actually to upskill yourself and actually learn new things.
Okay, great. So nice to meet you again this week. And surprisingly, today's topic is one of my favorites to discuss, and that is surprises. So, would you be willing to
Okay.
have a conversation with me on this today?
Yes, ma'am, I would like to have a conversation on any topic actually, but it's okay if it is this topic. So.
Yeah, because this way I'll get to know about the pleasant moments in your life. So, that's a nice answer. And what's the most pleasant surprise that you've ever received in your life so far?
I was gifted bicycle by my parents fifth standard.
Hmm.
So at that time, I was fond of outdoor sports. Uh,
Okay.
so that was a good surprise for me. A very good surprise as then I started cycling with my friends and also alone. So
Okay, exciting. I think for a kid, what more do you need? Bicycle is
yes,
like a sign of freedom.
yeah, it was a great moment for me.
I can imagine. So,
Preparing for the paper
hmm,
since
yeah.
since past few days and
Hmm. Yeah. Great. So that's nice. Whatever happens, happens for the best, right?
happens for the best. Yeah, this is also so
Yeah. So true. Absolutely. It all depends on the person's perspective.
perspective.
If we have an optimistic mindset, then no matter what life throws at us, we are able to be happy and hopeful. But if we are pessimistic, then even if we have good things in life, we will still not appreciate it.
Yeah, still we won't be grateful for the things we have. So
True, true. Absolutely. So nice. So from a innate means something that you're born with.
right,
And some people have to work really hard to develop this skill as an adult, right? So but at the end of the day, we all need to have this skill.
right. That's true.
Okay, great. So thank you so much. The way you answered all of those questions were pretty good. To be honest, sentence structures were good. Vocabulary, definitely there's scope for improvement that we will come to in the second half of the session. But for
Okay,
now, we will discuss some. We'll do one small activity. Okay.
okay,
Can you switch off for 20 seconds? Every detail, and then later tell me what the picture is trying to represent. You don't have to give me like the object names and such, just give me the gist of the picture, what it's trying to say. Okay, so your
okay,
time for observing starts now. 20
okay,
seconds.
okay.
Okay, done.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, cool. So yes, Mr. Aditya, tell me what is the moral behind the picture.
The picture shows that like we should appreciate the things we have in our life
Hmm.
and also not regret the things like the in the picture there was one girl where she was enjoying the nature and the surroundings,
Hmm.
and the other girl was not happy, and
Hmm.
uh, s- she was
Hmm.
complaining or suffering from something, and she was not appreciating the beauty which was there around her, like the
Which was
gardens and
there.
the flowers. Yeah,
Yeah. Did you notice one thing? Did they both have the same number of flowers around them, or did they have an unequal amount of flowers?
there were same amount of flowers around. There were same around them flowers.
Are you
Yeah,
sure? Would you like to take a look again?
yeah, I can.
Okay, sure. I'll just show it to you briefly, and then you can see for yourself. Right? So now we have two people, correct?
Okay.
So this
Yeah.
is lady number one, and this is our lady number two. So
Two.
how many
Yeah.
flowers does this lady have?
Okay. Yeah. I thought the full surroundings. No, the second lady who is upset has more flowers compared to first, who has only one flower.
Yes, yes, exactly. So now, did it ring a bell? Did you get the accurate meaning of this?
Yeah. Actually, she was happy with what she has, and
Yeah.
the other lady was not happy with what she has, and she wanted more, I think, or she was not happy with something.
Okay. Now I'll give you a challenge. You
Okay.
have to use the word despite or in spite of and try to say the same idea of and explain the situation of the two girls. Use despite or in spite of. It's your choice.
Okay. So, as we can see in the picture, there were two girls, and
Hmm.
despite the second girl having a lot of flowers and
Hmm.
everything,
Hmm.
she was still upset.
Hmm.
And the first girl, in spite of having only one flower, she
Hmm.
was happy. So, uh, the lesson is that be happy with what you have, I think.
Hmm. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Give you this challenge is to tell you that you are capable of making advanced sentences. See, complex sentences does not mean using extra complicated words or giving too many ideas in one
Right.
sentence. It's
Okay.
about using linkers like despite, in spite of, even though, although, whereas, while, meanwhile,
Yes.
these are some options. So, in what situations do we use whereas? Do we use it when things, but like that? Whereas means
Okay.
two completely opposite things. For example, I like apples, whereas my brother likes oranges.
Okay. Okay.
Right. For instance, Mahesh is a very honest man, whereas his son is a con man. It's called conning them.
Conning them. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Con is a trick.
Right.
For instance, I got conned by a con, which means I got cheated by a cheater.
Okay. So we can use this sentence like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Great. Any doubts?
Yeah.
See, when it comes to IELTS or any such English proficiency tests for that matter, there are two categories of people. Number one, the Teachers Guild, right? Number two, you have a group of professionals called the counselors. Okay.
Okay.
So the counselors are the people who give you information about these things. They evaluate your profile. They tell you
Okay.
how many points will you get based on your current situation and how much score you need to make sure that your visa process goes on more smoothly and you can increase your score, right? So these
Okay.
are the people who will help you with that. Coming to the economic situation about recession and this and that, I think
Uh,
the counselors are the best people to answer that because they work very closely with the institutes, with the
okay.
universities, with the companies. Yes, actually, there are a lot of things that come into play, right? There's a
Yes.
recession going on,
Yeah.
and another thing is, see, you can go abroad and study a course, but
Right.
whether or not you will get the job depends on the quality of the course
Yes.
that you've taken. If you've taken
Right.
up something random for which there is no job opportunity in that country, it will go for waste,
Right.
right?
Right. I can understand. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Because yeah, many of my friends are in US and
Are tech jobs, right?
tech jobs.
Yes. AI, machine
Yeah.
learning, data
Yeah.
science. So if you have a knack to work with these things, for sure you're going to get it. And the difference between India and abroad when it comes to placement is, in India, we have a lot of companies that come on campus and offer you placements, right? So that's primary.
Right.
But abroad, after you do your MS and stuff like that, uh, you don't have this kind of a luxury there. You have to
Okay.
apply to companies on your own. So if you don't
Right.
have any referrals, it's very difficult to get a job. Either
Yes.
you need to be excellent, you need to have an excellent profile, excellent report, or you need to have some really good references from the companies. Otherwise,
Right.
it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, it's very
This
difficult.
campus placement, which we take for granted to a great extent, that's a
Right.
luxury there,
Yes,
right? So you have to even struggle for opportunities.
that's true. Yeah, I can see that people like struggling, and it's not easy.
Yes, and the cost of living there, I think it's pretty high. If you're an
Yeah,
Indian, you are spending Indian money, converting it to dollars. So you might have to do part time, right?
part time. Yeah,
Which again ups the level of difficulty. So many things come into picture. Session,
right.
so many different things, right? So yeah, all right, great. So any other questions you have?
Uh, and ma'am, so what problems do you see when you train IELTS students, like in speaking, listening, reading, or writing?
Hmm.
What major problems do you see?
See, the biggest problem, if I have to find a common problem, it's that a lot of learners love to take feedback. They love to take, feedback about their performance, but they don't really work on the feedback that's given to them,
Okay.
right? So now, if I tell you, Aditya, when you're giving long answers, instead of directly talking about the topic, first give a nice background sentence related to the topic and then talk particularly about it. So this is the
Okay.
feedback. Now imagine if you just hear it, make a note of it, but if you're not implementing it, what's the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Right?
Then there's no implementation. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If there's no implementation, whether it's reading, writing, listening, or speaking, if you're just
right.
collecting feedback and collecting corrections and you're not working on it, then there's no point. Right?
Right.
The difference between a person who scores a good band score and a person who gets a mediocre score is this only. The first one is interested to know the mistake so they can immediately work and finish it off and correct it sooner. So that's the sign of a winner.
Okay. So it can like just correcting your mistakes and rectifying it. That is the
Rectifying it. Yeah.
yes.
And then even when you give them, when you give somebody a correction, they're like, okay, now how do I implement it? You need to push yourself, right? See,
Right.
if
Right.
a teacher had the capacity, trust me, we would have loved to give the exam on your behalf, but unfortunately we can't. So you have to push yourself, motivate yourself, and be a little aware that this is where I need to focus, so it will work out, not a problem.
Right. Okay. Because here when I was
Just two things I want to discuss with you. Do you know the meaning of the word camaraderie?
companionship, like we
Yes,
both have good camaraderie.
very true. Can I use the synonym rapport instead of camaraderie? Will it work? Is it a synonym or an antonym?
Rapport is a synonym.
Sure.
I'm guessing it, but it the word looks like we have good rapport. Or it's so
Yes.
I'm saying, yeah, it's a synonym only.
Yes, absolutely. You're 100% right. So, rapport and camaraderie are synonyms. If I
Yeah,
say that Ramesh and Mahesh are two peas in a pod, what am I trying to say?
I've heard this idiom, but I don't know the meaning, ma'am, of this.
It means they're inseparable.
Two peas in a pond. Okay,
Pod,
inseparable.
Pod, Pod.
Pod.
Pod means
Okay.
आप जब मटर खरीदते हो ना, the fresh one, it comes inside a bean, right? That
Okay.
entire bean is a pod. It's like an outer covering. The peas are inside the pod.
Okay. So it is inseparable. Okay.
Yeah, they're always together. You'll find them
Okay.
together all the time. So like peas in a
Okay.
pod, they're always close to each other. That's what it
Yeah.
means. Got it?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I'll see you in the next session then. It was a nice conversation, spoke really well. Vocabulary again. Try to read more, work on the vocabulary that was shared in the class, try to use it in the upcoming sessions, and you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the
You're
class. See
welcome.
you in the next
Welcome.
class.
Same here.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Take care.